has gone by. We are now away from 2022 and in 2023. And for some reason, I thought, hey, why don't I do a tier list of all the movies I watched? Or the ones I could remember that I watched. So, here we are. And I watched like maybe 35 movies this year. So, I am just gonna start it up. Alright, so the first movie that I have is Top Gun Maverick. Okay, I am not that much into like these kind of movies. My brother ended up getting it, Steelbook, and then we watched it one night. I was forced to watch it, so, but it was all right. I mean, I enjoyed the flying scene. I enjoyed the flying scenes. Jesus Christ. But I would probably give this a B. Again, it's like my preference, not a worldly preference, because that would be bad. But I'd give it a B. It's not my favorite kind of movie, but it's not the worst kind of movie either, because there's, oh my goodness. Alright, next is The Atom Project. Okay, so this one is interesting because it's always a time travel movie, and time travel movies can always be messy. I don't really have much more to say on this movie because again, it's always timey-wimey junk and other stuff, but I don't know. I'm just this movie was so long ago, I can't really even remember it, but I'll give it a B tier. Move. Thank you. All right. Next up is a recent one I watched, A Christmas Story Christmas. Now, this one I enjoyed a lot. I'm giving it an A tier because really, like, to like this movie, I would suggest you definitely have watched the original or have watched the original when it came out. I mean, I obviously wasn't born when the original came out, but it was a really good movie. I liked it a lot. It was pretty fun. Oh my goodness. All right. I did like the returning cast though. That was pretty cool. It's always nice to see legacy characters returning back to their old movies. It's always just so fun to see them again and reprising their roles. I just like that a lot. Oh my goodness. I I think we also watched it like right before Christmas with my family, like Christmas Eve. I think we watched that and it was just so much fun. All right, next we have Black Adam. Now, Black Adam, I think I came in like the middle of it when my parents were watching it, or my brother and my mom were watching it. So, and this movie was something. I mean, The Rock was pretty good, and I like Dr. Fate a lot. Dr. Fate was the best. The other characters I didn't really care about that much, and the movie didn't seem to either, because they really weren't there that much, and it was just kind of odd. I would have liked to see them more, or have them more in depth, but yeah, I mean, it's not the best. You know how DC is, I guess. Not always on par, especially with certain stuff happening, like everyone. But, not the best superhero movie. I'm giving it a C. Alright, next we have The Ledge. Alright, so this was like on Hulu, and my dad suggested watching it, and we did. It's like, even one of like the reviewers or whatever, like on one of this, it's basically just like revenge with some other movie that I don't remember the title of. It was basically just waiting for this comeuppance of these assholes to get it. Or the main guy, because everyone else is like, we shouldn't be doing this, or we taking this a little too far. One thing was I did like the tense parts, but you obviously like knew what was already happening. At like before it even happened, like you knew like everyone that died was gonna die, no matter what, because this guy was just a complete psycho. Kind of removed a bit of the tension, but like again, it's literally just a revenge movie. she gets revenge in the end. Spoilers, but it wasn't that bad. I'm putting it. I would put it probably C tier because again, it is a revenge movie, and most revenge movies, while satisfying, you can't really get much satisfaction on a rewatch. Really, it's like a watch once and then don't watch again for me. All right, next we have this one. Don't worry, darling. All right. So I'm actually in like the few people who hadn't heard about or really investigated inside the behind the scenes drama that happened. So of course this movie isn't original. It's the Stepford Wives. My mom like called that out instantly after the twist was revealed, or before that, I don't know. But yes, very Stepford Wives. Um, but it's like without the drama, and if you go in without knowing the drama, this movie is fine. Yes, it's not original, and some of the acting isn't the best. Florence Pugh always has an amazing uh, performance, no matter what. But it's just this movie can be a little like random, I guess. Like I feel like part of it doesn't know what it wants to be. Like, it's obviously Stepford Wives, but I feel like it also wanted to be like The Matrix or something. Whereas in like, you can exit right. I haven't watched The Matrix, so I'm obviously botching the hell out of this. But it feels like it wants to be The Matrix while also being Stepford Wives, while also trying to be its own thing, which is kind of a little hard for me. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'd probably give it probably like a B minus. I'll just put it all the way in the back. Again, I haven't really investigated into the whole drama thing, but like I'm just not really in for that. Like, because even though drama can like there are certain types of drama in movies which then I would refuse to watch the movie, but like sometimes with drama like this, even though there's a bunch of stuff with it, I just tend not to really listen because then it just ruins the whole effect of your experience. So that's why I rated it as I did. I just didn't really pay attention to the drama and I just enjoyed the movie as what it was. Next, I'll just get this one out of the way. Minions. Yes, I forced one of my friends to watch this with me. And, yeah. It's just gonna go in D tier because it's a Minions movie. I automatically watched it during the Gentle Minions, and I even have pictures of me in a suit going to it. So there's that. Let's see what's next. Alright, next up is going to be Hotel Transylvania 4. Just to toss this away, I hated it. It was one of the most awful experiences of a movie I'd ever had the displeasure of watching, and now I'm glad this series is dead. I hope it's dead. I hope to God it is dead. Alright, next up is going to be Mr. Harrigan's Phone. So, Mr. Harrigan's Phone, well, it's obviously adapted from the short story from Stephen King, and it really does have the energy of short story turned into like an hour-long movie. This really could have been like an anthology short story of short stories, but I mean, it was just there on Netflix, really. And it was also kind of like also kind of like revenge, maybe? Where like obviously where like the kid, he keeps telling the dead Mr. Harrigan to hurt these people that hurt him back. And then it's pretty obvious that it's just revenge, so I'm just gonna put it at C. Let's see. What else? How about Nope? Alright, Nope. I loved it. It was actually a really good movie. I think this is gonna be. Oh my god. Oops. Sorry. I think this is gonna be S tier because I actually loved it a lot. Now, granted, there are some flaws about it, but like, even without trying to find the subliminal messaging in this movie that Jordan Peele always does, it's actually a pretty enjoyable movie. And I honestly went in the theater planning to find the subliminal messaging, but after the abduction scene, I'm just like, what the fuck? So that's what happened, and that's what I did. So, it was just a pretty good movie. I actually ended up getting it on Blu-ray, which is definitely something I'll be watching again. And it's definitely a really enjoyable movie. I loved Keke Palmer in it. I loved all the actors in it, actually. They did all pretty good. And that's all I really have to say about it, to be honest. And then we have one of the last movies I watched this year, Matilda the Musical. Okay. Go away. There we go. Matilda the Musical. So, what do I have to say about this? So it definitely has that musical vibes, and I know this isn't a musical version of the movie, it's the stage play, which when the original trailer came out, someone on YouTube adamantly stated, yes, this is the stage play, not the movie. And I feel like it does, even though I haven't seen the same stage play, because there's definitely a bunch of stuff in there that, I mean, it's like, has this different energy. Uh, it's definitely A tier for me, but, it's like, I don't know, something felt like it was missing from it. Like, I feel like the whole Matilda training her powers thing should have lasted a bit more, even though, again, if this is the stage play, so, you can't, like, go on forever. But this should have built up more, because Matilda did have a little training for it. God, making her sound like she's, like, freaking superhero, but, like, she definitely should have spent more time instead of just, oh, hey, I can just master these out of the blue because I'm magic, and we need to have a reason for me to just have this. So, all in all, it's a pretty good movie. It's pretty fun, too. I loved all the musical numbers. All the kids were pretty good, too. I'm surprised they all managed to do this. Like, I know there are a bunch of, like, that kids can do this, but, like, holy crap. Like, what I want to know mostly is how many takes did this need for it to be perfect? Alright, let's see what else. Bodies. Alright. So, bodies is interesting. It's an interesting movie. It's the very simple whodunit, but with a twist. So, I feel like I was let down with this movie. Or my expectations let me down with this. I definitely was expecting there to be a killer, even though in the end there wasn't. And there was originally a killer when I watched the Dead Meat podcast, but I don't know. I was just a little upset that there was no killer, which is really ironic, I guess. When you expect a whodunit movie and then you expect a killer when you obviously could expect that there is no killer. Kind of like with the first Knives Out, how technically there was an attempted murder, but really it was labeled as a suicide. Well, the real murder was Fran at the end. Spoiler alert. But I mean, I don't know. This movie was just mainly just like the influencers bickering and killing each other for an hour, until we find out that, oh, hey, this no one was actually a killer, so we ended up actually committing murders because we thought there was a killer. I don't know. It's just really crazy, I guess. Wasn't my favorite movie of the year. Like, again, it was an alright. I know I see that a lot, but it was definitely an alright movie. Alright, next comes VHS 99. Okay, so, given that this is like the 5th VHS movie in the franchise, right, we have, the first 3 VHSs, the 98, the 99. Why is there two? Okay, whatever. Anyway, um, now I love these anthology movies. They're kind of like a guilty pleasure for me. But I'm gonna have to say, like, VHS 99 was, again, alright. I definitely think, gosh dang it, I definitely think that the actor for Mabel, Melanie Stone, did a fantastic job. She was like the best part about like all three anthology episodes. I loved it when Mabel came on screen. It was so much fun. And it was also sad too. It really does. It really says something when it does make you feel bad for like the demonic characters or something, you know. But I liked it a lot. It was an enjoyable film. I'm kind of glad it didn't really get put on theatrical release. Well, I mean, I guess the VHS films are never going to be a theatrical release again, given, given like, I think, wasn't viral direct to DVD, and then 98, 99, and soon to be 85 was all streaming. Yes, I think that's it. But yes, I feel like going to streaming is the best route for VHS coming forward, because VHS 1 and 2 was definitely felt like theatrical releases to me, while the rest of them feel like they deserve to be on streaming because they aren't the best movies, and I feel like they would do terribly at the box office if they were put onto theatrical release, sadly. Let's see what else. Alright, we have another Netflix, The School for Good and Evil. I just turned this on because I was bored and I didn't want to do my homework. I actually didn't. I had class and I didn't want to do it. Okay, this I might put like above Minions. So this is not. Oh my god, come on. This is not a good movie. I haven't read the book, so I wouldn't really know like how well it does adapting to it. But like, it's literally just like kind of like a swap of like. It feels like a bad rendition of Harry Potter, but the only houses are Gryffindor and Slytherin. That's basically what this movie feels like. And then after it goes into the whole fairy tale destiny hero's journey thing, it's just I didn't really enjoy it. And again, I know half these movies are like kids. Well, not really. A few of these movies are more like kids movies. Like, well, I mean, soon to some of them coming up are kids movies. But I just didn't find it fun. When you watch kids movies, it's supposed to be fun, but like, it just wasn't that good. All right, let's see. How about we do? Ugh. Men. Oh my god. I dislike this movie a lot. It was good in like the first half, but the second half was like the biggest what the fuck moments ever. It was so bizarre, and I was like, what in God's name did I just watch by the end? I really regret watching this movie. I wish I had never had been interested into seeing it. It is. I have no idea. It is a movie. How about that? It's definitely a movie. I just didn't enjoy it. It wasn't good. But here's another throwaway that I need to address. Morbius. Oh my goodness. What hasn't there been said about Morbius? Memes aside, it is one of the worst movies I've ever made. And to be honest, the pitch meeting video for it, like, I'm pretty sure you know pitch meeting, but pitch meeting made a hilarious video. And when you think about it more, it makes you wonder, this probably is how the pitch meeting went. And also, how did these lines get past, like, professional film directors? Like, someone took a look at this script and said, yes, we are smart and this will be a good movie. But it was not. It was a horrible movie. And the fact that they're trying to do, like, Morbius cinematic universe with this makes me question everything. But like, even given the end credits, how would that work? Because let's say the adventures of Morbius and the Vulture did happen. Wouldn't it be only for like 24 hours or so? Because if the screw up spell also uh sent Vulture into another universe when it brought the other Spider-Man into the MCU universe, wouldn't that make it like only like a 24-hour adventure and then he just pieces out and goes back to his original dimension? Wouldn't that work? I don't know, but like that's the implication I was getting because of the No Way, because of how No Way Home works, which honestly, No Way Home should have came after Doctor Strange, given the original plans, which I heard was gonna be America was gonna do the spell. Which, in fact, why don't I just pull that up and talk about Doctor Strange? Where is it? Where's Doctor Strange? Hold on. There it is. Okay. Let's talk about Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I feel like they definitely should have, even though I know there's scheduling issues or issues with something, Multiverse of Madness should have came before No Way Home, because then that would have made it a lot better, because having Doctor Strange fumble this Forget Me spell is so out of character for him. It is genuinely so appalling that they thought they could just do that and have people not question it. Because again, out of all the characters, Doctor Strange is the most careful out of all of them. The most careful. The others are kind of reckless with how Peter basically caused the snap to happen by letting his feelings get her after hearing Gamora died. Like, he is the most sensible out of everyone. And then he, after hearing Peter undo the spell twice, remake the spell twice, he should have stopped it and been like, okay, kid, who do you want to forget and remember? And then, but we have to have the movie happen. So it's kind of depressing that they decided to do that. Man. Next is going to be Pinocchio. God, I fucking hate this remake. Because I swear, the only reason Disney did this was because Del Toro was making Pinocchio, and Disney wanted to leech off of the Del Toro hype. That's the only reason this movie exists. And I swear to you, it is. I've that urged because like the 5 other Pinocchios that came out this year. And Disney was just like, okay, we can do that too, I guess. Alright, now we're gonna do the double feature of this year, which is going to be X and Pearl. Alright, I enjoyed Pearl more thoroughly than X. I'll get that out of the way. X was definitely B tier for me, because I don't really like, it was definitely, because, they're filming an X-rated movie, obviously, which is where the title comes from, but I'm just not a fan of raunchy stuff. And I know there was a little bit of raunch in Pearl, but I'm just not a fan of all that sex and stuff. It's not really appealing to me. Like, I understand why they would have it in movies, but, like, it's just not for me. I don't really like it. And then there's Pearl. Definitely one of the best movies I've watched this year. I enjoyed it, and I thought Maxine was coming out in December, but I guess it's coming out this year, 2023, but this really does feel like you can watch the movie before you watch X. You could legitimately do that, and I really like that you could do that, because it really is an origin story, and the fact that this is how it works is really cool. And again, there's like, you don't miss much if you watch Pearl first and then you watch X. Because if you actually watched Pearl first, you would then get some references later on, like when old Pearl says, I never liked blondes. And then when you watched Pearl, you realize why she doesn't like blonde people. Alright, next we have The Invitation. Alright, so they definitely screw themselves over by making it like Ready or Not. And I definitely feel like they would have done better if they hadn't waited much time to do to go to the actual wedding part. Like we have the two original wives just like dicking around with the main character, like mind torturing her and whatever, like making her question her sanity. Like they definitely waste a lot of time making the character question their sanity with how weird this place is, than rather just jumping straight to the goods and being all like, "Yes, I'm a vampire, and you will be a vampire too, and have vampire powers." Ha 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 ha. Alright, what's next? What's next? Thor Love and Thunder. Alright. So Taika Waititi wrote this one, and it shows. They obviously cared more about goofs than the fact that someone was. I wanted this movie to be serious. Like, I understand that Thor is more goofy as it went on. Well, I mean, it got goofy at Ragnarok, which I kind of didn't enjoy that much. But everything was just so random in this movie. Like, apparently, Stormbreaker is now a key, but like, how is that even possible if Stormbreaker was never made before? Like, they had to weld it down. Does that mean they just knew that there'd be a key that was Stormbreaker shaped or had the powers of Stormbreaker, and they just knew, oh yes, this will unlock the wish god? I just don't understand what was going through their heads when they were making this. Because the return of Jane I really loved a lot, but the fact that she dies from cancer that she just had apparently, with no build up either. She says, "I have cancer," and they're like, "Oh wow, you have cancer?" It just frustrates me how Marvel is defecating on itself. And going back to Multiverse of Madness really quickly, who in their right mind thought that Third Eye CGI was really impressive? Because it was the ugliest thing of the movie. I hated it. I can't believe they approved that. And it's just, ugh, yeesh. Alright. Next up is gonna be Barbarian. Alright, this movie is nuts. It's bizarre. It is nuts as hell. Alright, so. What I feel about this movie is that it is just batshit insane from start to finish. Or, well, like, when the stuff starts to tense up. Like, once she finds the first tunnel, I was like, oh boy, here we go. And then the second tunnel, which I don't even know why you would go down there. Like, if I found a second tunnel in the first tunnel, I would instantly nope out of there. I would leave straight away. But these characters and the name of the plot had to progress forward to, move the plot forward. Definitely, I was spoiled because I was looking at like that movie poster Reddit, but the reveal when it happened shocked the hell out of me because I was like, oh wow, they're just going for that, and I I honestly thought Skarsgård was gonna last longer, but definitely subverted my expectations, that's for sure. All right, next we have Lyle Crocodile. Yes, I saw this. I went and saw this movie. Yeah, my perception of what movies do I want to watch is warped, I guess, because I put it at C. Yes, it's not the best. It's alright. It's a kid's movie. So, that's. I'm really criticizing this a lot for being kids' movies, but, like, it's just. Well, it's a nice little kids' movie. It's fun. I like the musicals, too. I really do like it when they have you know, when like movies are kind of like song based too. Like it's like not a musical, but it is. But when it's not, it's really good. Um, um, I don't know what I just said there. Holy shit. But like this movie, it's it's just fun. It's just a fun movie, and I kind of liked it. I definitely wouldn't see it again, but it was pretty good. Definitely watch it with the kids though. Don't or watch it with like friends maybe. Don't go in it alone because that's what I did, and I was just like, oh, okay, I'm just sitting alone in this theater, all alone. All right, next we have another F tier, Lightyear. I hated this. I really wish this was never made. I don't know why they even made this. But yes, this is another time travel movie where I don't even know like what it was supposed to be. It was like if it was just like a live action movie. They were saying it's the movie and you saw that made him want to get the Buzz Lightyear. Then if so, I guess the practical effects must have been like on par with like something. But the main thing that confuses me was Zurg. Okay, so I haven't watched the original Buzz Lightyear Star Command, but I originally thought Zurg was just a bad guy or Buzz's father, not Buzz himself. Because then, when trying to kill Buzz or stop him, inevitably end your own existence. Because if Zurg is old Buzz, wouldn't that, like, end up breaking the timeline? Or is this kind of like some Back to the Future stuff? Would that be it? I don't know. Didn't like it. Super bad, very bad film. Don't get it. Don't watch it. Don't acknowledge it. Alright. What's next? A lot of horror movies, or rather, technically like 3 more horror movies, and that's it. All right, let's see. Oh, here's one that just shot out of Disney unexpectedly. Disenchanted. So I only watched one trailer for it, like a sensible person, and I thought it was alright. It was basically WandaVision, but Giselle actually felt guilty about it. She actually realized that she's tormenting these people and tries to find a way to undo it. Unlike Wanda, who's just like, my hubby is dead and everyone has to suffer for my happiness. Which is definitely what happened with WandaVision. I feel like, yeah, basically Disenchanted was just WandaVision, but they realize what they're doing is wrong. When in WandaVision, she realizes what she's doing is wrong, but doesn't care. Or rather, she doesn't know she's doing it wrong, but she still doesn't care. I just it was also an alright movie. I did like seeing a lot of the cast returning. That was pretty fun. Let's see. All right, let's check out Turning Red. So aside from the Mr. Enter memes of 9/11 being an important thing, this movie was pretty fine. Definitely on the end of the B tier list, but like I thought this movie was fun. It was a really fun Disney movie. Um, Definitely still on that generational trauma stuff because we already have like 3 of those movies already, or yeah, about 3 of those movies. We had Raya, Encanto, and Now Turning Red, which Encanto was the best out of those 3. Um, I cannot think of Turning Red without thinking of Where's 9/11 by Mr. Enter. Yes, where is 9/11? Disney, you gotta talk about 9/11. They hit the Pentagon, May. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Now we're gonna talk about Smile. It's a batshit insane movie. Alright, so this is jump scare movie. This is a really jump scare movie. I thought it was pretty cool. I liked it a lot. And like at first I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be another cursed movie where they just beat it in the end, and it's gonna be jump scares all throughout the middle. But I was surprised about the ending, not the jump scares. This is like the first horror movie I've seen or know about where the villain wins. The villain kills the main character. I feel like it was a little bit of cheap cop out, kind of, but it was still shocking to see that ending happen. It was very shocking. Um, let's see what's next. What's next is Bob's Burgers. All right, the Bob's Burgers movie. So this was also sort of a murder mystery movie, kind of, or well, it became a murder mystery. Which this was the one where I didn't really try and guess who the killer was. I was just watching the Belchers just screw around, and it was uh, it was basically just a Bob's Burgers movie. It felt like an episode stretched extremely long. I definitely like the My Butt Has a Fear song. I like that a lot. It's catchy, to sue me, but I like that. It was again, it was a Bob's Burgers movie. Can't really say much else. Up next, Scream 5. Alright, Scream 5 is really good. Definitely better than Scream 4, obviously. Um, and at first, I had my initial guess it was gonna be. I can't remember who the characters are, but I didn't think it was gonna be. What's it? I can't remember. I don't know actors' names. I am so bad at it. But basically, the guy from the boys. I thought he. I had my initial thoughts he was gonna be the killer, but like, nah, I don't think they'd make him the killer since he's already like. He was already like a sociopathic killer in the Hunger Games. Gee, yeah, that's something you haven't really heard of. Yeah, he's from the Hunger Games. But I genuinely didn't want it to be him, but then it turned out he was one of them, and I was like, "Aw, oh well." So, but it was pretty good. Dewey's death surprised the hell out of me. I didn't think they would actually kill a legacy character off, but hey, it's a ballsy move that worked. um, I probably will buy this when like the complete series comes out or the next collection comes out, but Scream 5 was definitely a really good movie. And I can't wait for Scream 6. It's about time they went into fucking Manhattan. Like, it's really about time they did. Because you can only do it so many times in a localized neighborhood to where it loses its effect. Only complaint I have about it is the kill in broad daylight. Like, there is no way at least one person wouldn't see that shit and be like, oh, hold up now, what the heck? Alright, next up is Jurassic World Dominion. Now, a lot of people were saying this is a snooze fest. And sorta, but I feel like it was alright for me. I mean, God, okay, I gotta reassort this up. It's like a C tier for me, to be honest. It's. I grew up with Jurassic Park, technically, because I saw it a long time ago. But it's just an okay movie. We still don't have it. I think we still don't have. I don't think we have the next two Jurassic Worlds on DVD yet. But it was just an okay movie. I enjoyed it and didn't enjoy it. Some parts were stupid, some were not, but Alright, so now we have the bad guys. This was something I actually enjoyed. And hey, they actually used a fart joke for a fart joke instead of it just being a haha fart. The fact that they actually partially used this in the plot, it just shocks me. And I didn't think it could be done. I did not think it could be done where they could actually make a fart joke funny. Because I've gone really numb to fart jokes. obviously, when you get older, but like, I cannot believe they actually did it. And I think this was a really good movie. DreamWorks pretty much killed itself once they ended the Shrek movies. But let's be honest, they killed themselves at Shrek 3. But they really clapped back here, and I heard they clapped back definitely with Puss in Boots, which I'm going to see later, which I couldn't see this last year because I was busy, but it was a really fun movie. I was contemplating getting it on Blu-ray, but I'm like, nah, I'll just wait later, I guess. Maybe another time. But definitely better than most movies, which was really good. It was also really good animated too. Like, you don't see many good animated movies anymore. Animation gets a lot of shit. I really hate it. Next, second to last animated feature, The Sea Beast. This one is also going to be a B because it was just alright. I definitely like the duo, and the creature designs were pretty well done. And again, this is all beautiful 3D animation. I don't know why people are saying animation is dying when really it's just dying because people don't want to like support it anymore. I mean, the big companies. Every every human who is not like part of a big company is like not supporting animation. I mean, supporting animation. Jesus Christ, this is a messy video. Oh well, but I just want to see more of this because you don't see more of any animation anymore. Unless it's for kids, when really they should have like animations for adults too. And I know this is the whole thing with animation is for kids, but I do not believe in that because then that ruins the whole point of animation. Because all kinds of because then what's the point of people animating if they don't want to animate what they want to animate? Because then there's this one strict line that they have to follow, and then there's just no point to it anymore. Alright, The Black Phone is next. The Black Phone is definitely one of the best movies I've seen in a while. There's not much to say about it. It was definitely a really good horror movie, and I definitely loved it a lot. All the characters in it, the plot, it was definitely interesting, even though my parents kind of ruined it in the end by asking what the fuck just happened. I'm like, well, he killed him. He utilized all their tactics. Alright, we're now down to the final two movies. The first one is Knives Out, Glass Onion. This movie definitely had you guessing who done it throughout the entire thing. And I really love it when you spot these little plots. It's just so fun to watch. And I still can't believe... Oh my god. I still can't believe this got fucked over in the theaters. Because I would have loved to see this in theaters. But then I'm like, wait, where'd it go? I was going to watch it in the theaters. But then it just came out in Netflix, and I'm like, alright, that's fine. But I genuinely believe, I hope the next Knives Out they put in theaters instead of just direct to Netflix. Because I feel like it was genuinely that strong of a movie. It was really good. I think I enjoyed it a lot more than the first one. And it's just that fun. It is a really fun movie to figure out all the pieces. And even figuring out stuff before they say it. Like when Andy, quote unquote, Andy was shot and killed. Everyone everyone in the room went silent. But then I pointed out maybe she's not dead. Maybe this is all planned, and it turned out it was. And I was shocked, but not in the way that I thought. I thought that they knew Andy was going to be a target, and that they had a bulletproof vest. But nope, it was just the Notebook saved her, and then hot sauce. And now we have our final movie of this tier list with a monotone person. This one is Pinocchio del Toro. So this was the best Pinocchio I've ever seen in my life. Far better than whatever the fuck Disney released. And this is a better definitive, did he become a real boy? This is how they actually should have done it. Granted, they also did lying is good, except just for this one time. But I feel like you can't really put too much shit when I feel like Del Toro already had this planned to do it. And Disney Pinocchio, with how bad it was, people just gave it a lot of shit for it. Which, yes, the whole lying is bad unless it helps you thing is really not a good lesson to teach children. But I love the stop motion too. And another thing is the ending. So the ending says... So both endings of both Pinocchios were relatively the same. Did he become a real boy? Maybe. Some say he did. But with Del Toro's Pinocchio, he never becomes quote unquote like human. He never becomes a human. But the concept of him eventually dying, making him a real boy, is really nice and sweet. While this Pinocchio just says, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I'll let you decide. And I'm like, then what's the point of watching it? Because that's the whole thing about Pinocchio, was him becoming a real boy in the end. And the concept of a real boy not necessarily being human, but just being human in a way of acting human is really nice and sweet. So that's my tier list. I definitely think I have a bunch of hot takes. But I genuinely enjoyed the movies this year, even if some of them were annoying and stupid. That's pretty much it. My first movie of 2023, or 2023 movie I'll see this year, is going to be Megan. I'm definitely excited for that, even though the trailers have spoiled pretty much the entire movie for me at this point, which I am still pissed by. Making more trailers like Barbarian. And I'm pretty sure that's it, so I guess I'll be back for another video, maybe? I don't know. Bye, or something.